Oh, snap. It's time to yap. And I'm your host, Big C, and welcome to another episode of Just Yapping. Today's episode 17. I'll try and cover scams, your everyday scams, whether on your cell phone, through the mail, at your doorstep, at gas stations, wherever there's always scams and scam artists that are trying to get your money. And I'm going to try and finish off by covering maybe some tips on how you can actually try and avoid these scam artists from getting your money. Scams. Scams are probably every single day, all day on your cell phones. You're going to get numbers. And I say this all the time. You're going to get numbers. You're going to get emails. You're going to get paper like literature, all types of stuff. And sometimes it's hard to avoid, right? Especially those that are our elders, right? Those that are our grandparents or our parents or friends who are just, you know, of the older age. They, some are not hip to technology, right? They're just your everyday, you know, telephone, and they would rather love it. Some don't like change. So they are not going to learn new things. Even if they do have a phone, a cell phone, they're not going to understand, the extremity, especially in AI too, that can also be a scam. And, there's thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of scams that are going on every single day, right? So I know for myself, I've been scammed in the last 20 years. I've been scammed at least 4 times. And it's just 2 were just, I guess, try to get out of something and it just didn't work. It was a scam. And the other 2 were like, whatever. So yes, I was a sucker. You shouldn't, if you out there, my audience, right? If you have been scammed before, can it happen again? Absolutely. It could happen to you without you even noticing it until you're like, holy, like they got me. They got me again. And it's just, is it anyone's fault? No, but still, like, you would always think, like, in this day and age, right? Because there's so many scams that have been going on for the last 15, 20 or 20, 15 years or whatever. And they're going to continue and they're going to get worse, right? I think. So you would think there'd be like a team, right, of like little minions out there that would already take control and stop these things from happening. But it's impossible because there's all these computer wizards out there that know how to get your information. Super, right? And they get your information and they get whatever they need and they'll buy from you and they'll purchase stuff without you even knowing, until when it's time, it's already too late because you owe, hundreds of thousands of dollars or whatever it may be off a scam that they wanted to get, right? I was in a scam one time where I had property, and the person, like, I saw, it's my fault because I saw the ad and I'm like, oh man, maybe I can get rid of my property this way. So I did the property. People were like mad nice and everything like that. And they sent me paperwork and, hey, this is what you have to do to get rid of that property. All right, cool. So there's a fee. The fee is $900. And I'm like, oh, that's not bad. You'll be on it for the next year, and, we'll have buyers and bidders and all that stuff. And eventually you'll get what you need and we'll sell your property and voila, you're ready. Cool. Not knowing and this was about 15 years ago, not knowing the extent to where this was going at that time, they were like, all right, so we'll just need your credit card information. And I was like, yeah, no, you're not getting that because I don't even know you. They're like, all right, well, how else do you want to do it? I'm like, well, how else is there? They're like, oh, if you go to like certain stores, they have prepaid like credit cards. And I'm like, yeah, okay. Just go there and put the money on that prepaid credit card and, just send us the information. We'll send you that. We got to receive the whole spiel. And I did it. And I was in contact with them for like 4 months. Then all of a sudden there was nothing in return. And then after that, too late. I was already scammed $900. Yeah. And there's stuff that happened to me in person, that happened to me and my wife. We were on vacation and they did it. And this was this was when we first, 20 years ago. So they got me with the old credit card scamming machine, the one that people know that you put your credit card down and they take your credit card and they pink receipt or whatever. Cool. We go and purchase something at like a kiosk, right? At a mall in Maryland. And we go, and I was, at that time I was in the fire department, I was in the first responders, right? And we were trading patches. So I called a couple patches that I saw. I'm like, all right, cool, I'll take that, whatever. And I was like, oh, here, your credit card. She's like, I'm sorry, we don't, I was like, you don't have a machine? She's like, no, I cannot have a, old school thing. I'm like, does it work? She's like, yeah, we'll do is print it. I'm like, all right, cool. Not, girl was nice, all that other stuff. Right. Fast forward, probably within 12 hours, we go to our bank because we were going to go out to dinner that night, take money out of the ATM. And we were like, probably $1,000 or so less on our bank. Like we had to cut our trip short because that was we had spending money, and they got us. And then when we looked at all of, the statement as far as what they took, they paid for their T-Mobile account. They paid for all types of stuff, and it hurts. So, there's so many scammers out there, and it's getting like, it happened to my cousin a few years ago where they actually called. They called my cousin, my female cousin, right? And they said, hey, your son was in a car accident. Now, we told that person, like, our car's messed up, and we're going to hold him until you go to the bank and get money. It wasn't a ransom, like for us, so we can fix our car, because he said he didn't have money. So how much was it? They were like, it's $4,000. She's like, I'll meet you. I'm going to the bank right now. And then she felt like something was wrong. She's like, you know what? So she told her husband, get on your phone and call him to see where he is. Pick up the phone. He's like, yeah, I'm working. Everything's good. And then right away, it was a scam. And then, a couple of days later in the news, you hear like this huge operation that was going on from New York to Maryland to Florida and stuff, that it was like just a one-time like call center of scammers that were getting everybody at one time to see how much money they can generate in one shot. It was insane. You see, like I always tell people, right? I always tell people that you don't know, especially from like the IRS, from schools, because they do it in schools now, and that's kind of scary. Everywhere you're getting mail, you're getting all types of things, that you kind of trust, and you're like, oh yeah, it's, my bank. But really, you have to be super careful. Even like going to 7-Eleven, I've seen where the card, when you push your credit card into whatever, they have these like these scammers on there, like these credit card scanning things. When you put your credit card in, you type in your code or your whatever, your PIN, and that information is put on that scanning machine that they have there, that's covering the ATM machine that, or the machine that you have there to purchase your stuff, and they already have your information, because somebody will come by later on and unplug it without the guys knowing who's working in the store. And some of them are in on it because they like, yo, I'll give you a percentage, and don't tell me they don't know about it. They go, they pull the scanning machine, and that's it. They got all the people that were in there. They got your pins, they got your credit card information, everything. And what do they do? Making purchases to send stuff, right? Unbelievable. Even gas stations, right? You go in and really quick, your gas station, you punch in your stuff, that there's like a little reader. You got to see me at like ATMs and all that. I'm always grabbing the ATM thing when you put your card in. I'm pulling on it, because it's true. Like this day and age now, everybody has your information. Do they have my information? Probably. Are they buying stuff? I don't know. But see, it's good because our banks and stuff like that, they have the information where if something is kind of like, they'll send us an alert and they'll stop the card from praying. You got to call. You literally got to call and say, hey, yeah, no, that's not me, or whatever. Or yeah, it is me. And then, okay, what's your verification number? What's this? And you go through it, which is kind of safe. But there's some that just, they're so smart that they get by and you won't even know. They'll do little by little by little, and by the time it's like $2,000 by the month. And you're like, where'd this money go to? Because they're taking $1 here, $2 there, 5 here, and you won't know it. You know what I also seen that's kind of scary is that, you know, the QR codes that they have, right? Those little square things that you put your phone up to it, whatever. I've seen it where they had promotions, right? At like a gas station or on a telephone pole. Or don't scan that stuff unless you're really, really sure. Because I see that, heard stories, you go to the QR code and you press it, click it. All the information that you're putting in your phone, guess where that's going to? My man in the QR code thing, that's going to his database and everything like that, and get all your personal information, text. It's really, really, really frightening. It's really scary. But what I've seen now, and it's advanced because they got this thing down to a science. They're not only hitting our elderly people, our grandparents, our parents, our friends. They're actually going to the house. Hi, Amazon or UPS or hi, and they dress just like them. They have a package for you that fell behind the seat. We're just delivering it to you right now. We're really sorry. And what do? Sure. Open the door, and there's 2 cats behind them, like 2 people with guns, ready to blaze and steal all your stuff. They'll push their way in. I've seen one where there was a pregnant lady that knocked on the door, and she's like delivery that she went to the wrong house. Hi, I went to the wrong. I'm really sorry. I'm giving birth my stomach. And what do people do? React. Oh my God, go help. And there's bandits. I always tell my family, do not listen. I don't care. I do, but then I don't. I don't care if it's the cops. I don't care if it's the fire department. I don't care if it's a guy that you thought you might have known. Do not open that door unless you're really, really, really sure. You either look out the window, or there's nothing wrong with picking up the phone and saying, hi, my name is Schmo, right? Joe Schmo. 2 people at my door saying they're police officers, and I just want, is it true or what? I just want to make sure that it's okay. Oh, okay, sure, okay. Or the fire or Acton Fire Department, because I've seen people on videos and stuff on cams dressing up as cops. We got a warrant for whomever, or just say, there was something going on next door, and we just want to verify. No, because you're afraid you're gonna be like, yeah, sure, the cops are here. Open the door, and it's over for you. They'll tie up your family. They'll take everything you have, and for some people want to fight back, and it's not good for them either, because they end their lives then. People who are going to do harm to other people know that if you fight, it's over for you. You can materialistic things, take what you want. I'll suffer and I'll purchase other things, but your life is more important than a television. Does it hurt because somebody broke into your house or your car or whatever and stole it? And yeah, it's your personal property. It was your everyday, like you can't come home, kick up if you watch TV. Like, of course, somebody was in your house and stole it. Like your car too is your personal property. Your kids are in there, or your parents were in there, or your wife or whomever. And they were in your private space. And that gives you bug out. And what do you do after that? Like after that all happens and you went through that nightmare and all that stuff, what are you doing? Always looking, and you're super careful this time. Even if you're super careful, they're going to try again. I'm not saying going into your home, but other things they're trying. Do your mail on your phone, all that. And I always say, listen, when your cell phone rings and there's a number on there and you don't know who it is, don't answer it. What do people do when they're trying to get in touch with you and you don't answer the phone? They leave a message, right? Hi, my name is, but and even that, you're like, oh my God, let me call back because this guy called me and it's probably an emergency. And you call back and it's another scam. They're trying to get you, right? If you just like pop in on YouTube and look at like scams and stuff, it's from all over the world, right? And they're getting really, really, really good at it. So you have to be aware. There's scam artists that are like sending mail from like the IRS, or they're doing certain things and you think it's right, and they're like, oh my God, I got to pay this bill and send it, but it really isn't, you know. My suggestion, right, is if you're not sure, contact that company. Don't like if you see a letter, right, from some mortgage company, right, or some insurance company that you owe X amount of money and please call, don't call that number that's on that paper, because that number that's on that paper could coincide with the scammers. You know, you understand what I'm saying? So don't do it. Pick up your phone, excuse me, your cell phone and stuff, and look it up on Google. You know, Google the company, Google, and see what toll-free numbers and all that stuff, and then say, hey, listen, because it's happened to me a few times after all the incidents that happened with me. And I'm like, yeah, nah, I'll. And I look up and I'm like, hi, did you guys? And they're like, no, sir, it wasn't us. We don't do that stuff. And I'm like, all right, thank you. And then, you know, you're comfortable. You're like, all right, fine. It was a scam. Throw the stuff away and don't deal with it again. But even like weird text messages, right, that people know your name is scary. I've gotten messages, like text messages, hey, so-and-so, hey, what's going on? How are you today? And I'm like, I'm like, I don't know who you are, whatever. And hey, it's Bobby Millstaff from you know, I don't know you, bud. Sorry. And just like delete it or hang up or block it, right? That's a smart thing to do, is just block the person and the number that you're not sure of, right? But you have to understand, now they're getting more advanced, to where AI, artificial intelligence, is playing a role that one phone call, right, will change your whole life. Because I've heard story. I have the guy that I work with, this happened to. Thank God nothing. Thank God the little sister walked through the door when it was happening. AI called the mom's cell phone and said, like, it was the little sister's voice, and was like, Mom, I'm in trouble. Parents bug out. I'm in trouble. These guys are holding me. They said, if you don't, and it was the little girl's voice. It sends chills up my spine to hear this stuff. And the parents were like, I'm going to the bank right now. And they're like, you better go, or she's not coming home tonight, and all that other stuff. And the little girl, she's like in her young teens, walks through the door from soccer practice, and they were like, hang up. And they knew it was a scam. But just imagine getting a call and it sounds like your mom or your dad or your brother or your sister or your grandparents or your friend or your kids. Their voice sounds like they're in trouble. I'm going to flight and I'm there. Because that's what we all do. We want to protect our own. And it's a scam. That's scary. That really is. That you should, if you're watching this or you're listening to it, whatever, we have to try to better protect ourselves and what we're doing every day, right? Like if you're going up to the ATM machine, jiggle that damn thing that's there, or watch for people looking over your shoulder or things out of the ordinary. You know what? If you don't feel comfortable going to an ATM machine to take money out of the machine, then go inside. If it's open, go inside the bank and do it the old school way. Go get yourself a withdrawal slip, put your info down there, go to the counter and be like, I want X amount of money. Boom. Right? 1, 2, 3. If you are, you know, if you're around, you always, listen, you always have to look around to see who's around. There could be people in cars waiting for you to go in there and get money and, you know, run it. And it's over for you. Here you go. You always want to try, because there's so many people that run scams that we think that, oh, we're just helping, right? And next thing you know, yeah, it happened with my son playing video games. He was trying to be nice. He's trying to be nice, and the person that he follows is a big gamer. So that gamer was asking for donations because he or she was homeless and just got kicked out. So without him knowing, like, when you send like emojis or certain things on there and it's tied to a bank account, when you do that, it's throwing the dude money. So we had, at the end of the day, we sent that dude like $235. We were beside ourselves. We were like, wait, where did this go? And it was because he was hitting the emojis like, I'll help you, love you, and all this other hearts and all this, you'll be fine. And I was like, yeah. So just imagine. He scammed, and people were saying, yo, this dude scammed everybody, like thousands of people out of money. They should be held accountable, right? You would think he's a gamer, people know who he is and stuff. Arrest him. Arrest the dude and take him to jail for freaking larceny or, or robbery. It's crazy how in this day and age, right, we let things like that happen, knowing there's computer wizards out there that can help us do it. But I don't want to be disrespectful. Usually it is the computer wizard that's out there doing it to us. So whatever. But there's some great people out there who are computer savvy and know what they're doing and like help and block and all that. That's the people we need, right? So I think we all should take some kind of, I'm pretty sure they're out there if you look them up. I'm pretty sure there's some kind of like cyber attack awareness, like personal awareness. Like you definitely need some kind of like home defense type thing. Get yourself a camera if you don't have one, like the Ring cameras or just cameras in general. A lot of people have them. They're even doing scams with the cars. They're getting people to drive. I said this in one of my episodes. They're having people drive and stuff, and they'll pull in front of you and they'll slam on the brakes and you crash into them, and everybody in the car is like, ay, Dios mío, oh my God. And they get in, they try to do insurance scams. But lucky enough, the people who are driving those cars, who the people stopped in front of and they crashed into, they have a dashboard cam. So it was like this huge operation that was like costing the insurance companies millions of dollars. So those are one, there's something that you need to think about. You want to protect your own, you want to protect your family, you want to protect your identity. Your identity is everything. What's to say that I was a serial killer and I went somewhere and killed a bunch of people and then took your identification, like with my, whatever, and threw it on the ground, or fingerprints that had your identity on it. They're going to come get you. They, as far as DNA and all that's different, but I'm saying they have a name, they come to your house, falsifying information, but still they're coming to your house. Something to think about. Don't fall for everything. Don't fall for people calling your house or coming to your house and saying, hey, I want to sell you that. No, some certain people, you're not sure. You call because there's soliciting laws that some people don't know about. Soliciting laws where other people, unless you have a permit, you can't go door to door and say, hi, I want to sell you a rug today. I want to sell you solar panels. No, you're not allowed to. Or some people are like, yeah, no, I'll come back another day, or just send me literature, leave it in my box, or whatever. You're allowed to do that. You call the cops and be like, hi, I have people soliciting in my neighborhood. Like, I don't even know who they are. And they'll usually patrol and they'll come out. That's what you should do. If you feel uncomfortable, or pick up the phone and be like, hi, these people or whatever, they're at my door and I told them to go away, but they're still in the neighborhood. Could you just come and check real quick? Like, whatever. Give a little description and be like, yeah, they're driving this car, they're wearing this, and, they're just going door to door and whatever. They should come out. So be careful. Be careful of, who's around you. That's the most important thing. Keep your eyes. Make sure, you don't have any strangers around you looking over your shoulder at the ATM, or be careful of like what you hit when you touch, like hit send to purchase things, or where you're buying it from. Or if you ever do a web search for certain, like if you're going to buy shoes, if you're going to buy jewelry, you can buy whatever, on the very top in the corner, when you punch in that website, it should say HTTPS, which is a secured thing, because the S stands for like secure site. And just be careful. But you're going to see, listen, I still get emails from PayPal and this credit card and that. No, unless like if somebody's at, send me some, or you call the bank or you call that institution and say, hey, did you guys send me no, I didn't send. Okay. And then it's BS and throw it away. Or emails. Don't click on anything. When you see stuff that is like urgent, if you don't send me $5,000, I'm going to release your photos to your school okay, send it. All right, that's cool. I don't have $5,000, so send it. You know, some people get petrified and they're like, oh my God, they ruin me. And they go ahead and they empty their bank account for stuff like that. So just be careful, you know, on what you click. If you're not sure, don't touch it. Just don't do anything to it, or you can just flag it or X out of it or whatever. Phishing scams, trying to get your information, phishing, you know, getting your information to see if they can get a bigger thing, and then they bite and they'll take all your stuff, right? There's so many types of scams out there. Just be careful. The elderly try to take care of. They're not sure. Just, you know, stand by them and watch what they purchase, or just, you know, make sure they're doing the right thing, not giving their bank information to a lot of, you know, places. Be careful in the little shops, the little kiosks at the mall, or in street vendings and stuff. Like, just be careful, you know. That's where all the scammers are, you know. Like, if you go to buy food, a little swipe card, it's out there, little swipe scammer thingies. While you're purchasing, they'll swipe it themselves, and a little key card, and it is done, you know. They got all your info, and they're ready to purchasing stuff for next Christmas. So just be careful. So I said it last time that I'm usually like 2022. I'm 25. This is like a record. So I hope I gave you some insight on the everyday scams and what to look out for, and just be careful out there. All right. So I think that's my time. I'm Big C. Peace.